Hey, this is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome to you if you are new. Now, I am super excited to be participating in this 5 under 5 DIY challenge. These beautiful ladies. I have 5 budget-friendly Easter DIYs for you, so let's jump in. DIY number 1. I got this from Dollar Tree, Happy Easter banner, and this is going to be so easy. You can't even imagine how easy this is. So I'm taking a piece of this burlap ribbon and I'm making a bow. And I just cut a small piece to the size that I wanted and I glued the ends together. Scrunched that up in the middle. Tied a piece of jute around it. And then cut another piece and then cut that in two, dovetail the ends for the tails, and then glue that onto the bow. Now guys, this is how I make my bows sometimes, and I think it came out cute. I love it. Here I am trying to figure out, I got these little beads from BB Craft, the rabbits from Dollar Tree, and I was trying to figure out which one would look better at the top. I didn't want the tails of the bow to unravel, so I took the lighter and I'm just singeing it down. Now it was still looking a little plain, so of course I thought that it needed something else. So I took this burlap trim and I cut off 2 small pieces and glued them on either side of the tail of this. And this one is done. So easy, so simple. Now we're moving on to DIY number 2. This little wooden sign I got from the thrift store for $1. Now I'm going to be giving this a makeover, so I'm taking the heat gun and I'm kind of loosening up the adhesive at the back to remove the tag, but it was proving to be very challenging, as you can see. So I decided not to waste too much of my effort on doing that. I took a baby wipe and I'm just wiping it down, cleaning it off properly, and then that kind of loosened up the adhesive and I was able to remove it afterwards. I wanted to remove the writing that was on there, so I took this little bottle of Waverly Ivory that I had, but the paint was very old and that wasn't working out. So I sat that aside and went over it with a coat of the Waverly White chalk paint. And after it was dry, I took the sanding block and sanded it down just to give it a little rusted look and bring back a little of the definition to this piece of wood. This is some pieces of scrapbook paper that I got from Temu. I had a Temu haul. I'll leave that in my description box below. You can check that out. And I am selecting the one that I think would go well with my theme. Now I am taking a little of this Mod Podge. That's about the last of it. And I am just applying some to the board because I'm going to be decoupaging with the scrapbook paper. So I placed the block down on the paper and then used the pencil to trace out what I needed to cut off. And here I'm using my little mini heat press and just reactivating the Mod Podge. Now this is a set of, or this came from a set of 4 sanding blocks that I also got from Temu. And I believe this is a 120 grit, if I'm not mistaken. And now it's sanded nice and clean. I sat that aside and then I took 2 of my little rabbits. I had already painted one, but as you can see, this is where I made a mistake because I'm painting both of them in the same direction, which is not what I wanted. And I didn't realize that until afterwards. So after I painted and dried, that's when I realized that I turned it the wrong way. So I went back and I painted it the correct way. And here I did not realize I did not turn the camera on, so I missed filming that part where I wrapped the jute around the top and glued down the rabbits. But as you can see, one of them was too far in and that left a little bit too much space to the side. and I took off the cross, cut off a piece of that and paste that right there, and that is done. Now this video is a part of the 5 Under 5 DIY challenge that is hosted monthly by Missy from Crafty Cove DIY and Emily from Farm Charm Chic. And this month we have Dawn from Designs by Gaddis. I enjoy working with these ladies. They are super talented. I will leave their links in the description box below as well as the playlist. You have to check them out after you get done watching my video. So now we're jumping into DIY number 3. Yes. Now for this one, I am using this 8-inch wreath form from Dollar Tree and some Decor mesh that I had in my stash. Now because this is white, I had to use something as a base. So I used a piece of burlap and I cut down small strips and I wrapped that around all the way around until I got to the end, making sure that I was pulling it tight enough so that when I glue it down, it doesn't come apart. And I just snipped off the excess. And here I am just trimming down the little fuzzies that were hanging off. Now I'm taking the Decor mesh and I'm folding in the sides. And after I fold it in the sides, I'm going to be wrapping this all the way around, making sure that the sides are tucked in carefully. And I'm kind of giving myself enough room as I go. I'm layering it on top of each layer, if that makes sense. And then I went all the way around. And when I got to the end, I just fixed that in place and glued that down just like I did with the burlap. And you have to be careful because this is very thin, and if you're not careful, you can burn your fingers. Now here I'm just replacing or adding my next glue stick, and that's how I do it to prevent it from falling out. And now we're done. We're moving on to the next part of this. Now I wanted to give this little wreath 2 bunny ears. So I traced out my template from a piece of cardboard and then traced that out on foam board, and then I cut those out and you use the sanding block to just rub down the edges to smooth that down somewhat. And after I did that, here I'm trying to decide which of these 2 paints that I want to use. This is Folk Art Tea Rose and Apple Barrel Pink Parfait. I went with the Folk Art Tea Rose and painted in the center of the ears. And then after they were dried, I applied some Mod Podge. See, I'm still finding Mod Podge in this little bottle. I applied some Mod Podge to the surface to protect the paint, and then dried that. And here I am painting rabbits again, but this time I made sure I got it right this time. I then set those aside as well, and now I'm going to be making bows. I took these ribbon I got from BB Craft, pink, blue, and the yellow, and I'm making finger bows. And I'll slow this down just a bit for those who haven't seen how I made this bow before. I will slow this down so you can just follow how I'm doing it. Now, if you're liking this video so far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and it's free. And I also used some of this Easter wired ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I just cut 2 pieces, one a little bigger than the other, glued the ends together and then put them on top of each other, scrunch them in the middle, tie them with a piece of jute, fluff them up a little bit, and then just made the tails as well. So as to hide the jute in the middle of the bow, I had this circular bead that was already cut in half. I took the half and I just glued that over the jute. And now it's time to add my ears to my wreath form. Here I'm just kind of laying them down to see exactly how I wanted to glue them on. And once I was satisfied with how I wanted them to look, I'm applying some hot glue on the front, and then I just turn that down face down and then fill in the space with some more glue, and did the same thing to the other ear. Now to cover that at the back, I took a piece of the burlap, tuck under the end, and glue that down, and that's just to cover the raw edges from the ears, as well as to add some form of decoration to it. So if you are new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. I'm so happy you joined me today. Here on my channel, I do DIYs on a budget, dupes, look for less, and some occasional Dollar Tree shopping hauls and thrift flips. If you love budget-friendly DIYs like these and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit that notification bell. Hit it again and select all so YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. Now here I'm just placing the bow where I wanted it. I wanted to add some greenery. Now I think this is called Monstera. I could be wrong. I've had it so long I forgot the name of it. Don't quote me on this. I could be wrong, but I think it's Monstera. But I got this. I had this in my stash for probably 2 years and hardly use it. In fact, I think this is the first time I'm going to be using it. So I just cut off 4 of the leaves and glued them at the bottom of the wreath. And once those were tightly glued on, I then glued on the ribbons, spaced them evenly, and then glued on the little bunnies in the center or in the space between each ribbon. And this is the beauty with wired ribbon. You can move them and push them and pull them according to how you want them to look. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just adding some folds to the tails of the ribbon. And after I was satisfied with how I wanted that to look, I then glued it on right in the middle. And then to keep the little ends of the tails intact, I then just use a little bead of hot glue to secure that. And this wreath is done. No, not quite. I then flipped it over and add a piece of jute for hanging. And now I'm done. Let me know what you think about this wreath in the comments section down below. DIY number 4. This is another easy one, a picture frame from Dollar Tree. I wanted to remove that altogether, but it was glued down in there, so I just snipped it off and then remove it from the front. Here I had this calendar from last year, and the pictures in this calendar were so beautiful. I don't throw out calendars really. So I'm trying to find one that would go well with my theme, and here I have it. So I'm just measuring the size that I need to cut this little calendar sheet down to. And I use my L ruler and the utility knife to cut that out. Now I wanted to use the school glue because I thought that that would have held it in better than the other glue or the hot glue, but that didn't work. I'm still finding Mod Podge in this bottle. So I found whatever was left in there, applied that on, and then took the heat gun and just reactivated that. Found my little piece of parchment paper and pressed that on. Now it was looking a little bare, and I went with little decals from Dollar Tree again, found the cross. Place that in the middle right to the side, and took one of these burlap bows, ready-made from Amazon, glued that on, and see I went through another glue stick. And this is done. Simple, quick and easy DIY. I love the scripture verse that's on there. Now we're on to the last one, DIY number 5. This is another easy one, not too much that I'm going to be doing with this. I did this one for another video last month, and all I am doing is finding a nice little flower from one of these Dollar Tree sheets, calendar again, or the one from the side. Use some Mod Podge to glue that on. I'm just falling in love with using these calendar sheets. And then I reactivated that using the heat press and the paper. Now I took my paint pen. This is purple. I've never used this one before, so I kind of have to push it down so the ink would come down. And I wrote, "He is risen." You can't have an Easter video without something that's religious. So I thought that adding this to this little book stack would be perfect. And with these so-called books, you can interchange them. I made sure it was flat so that if I need to switch it up, there's nothing hindering it. And then once I wrote that on there, I took the brown furniture marker and I added the hill and the 3 crosses, the resurrection scene. Went over that with the Mod Podge. And here I'm taking this ribbon I got from Dollar Tree. And to keep them from moving around too much, I added some hot glue just to tack them down. And I love this ribbon. It is so pretty. And I'm just wrapping that around, make a little tie at the top. Maybe because of the colors, but I just love it. It's simple. And this was made from scrap wood. So you can do this, guys. And then took another of the burlap bow and just glue that on top. And this is done. I love this one. Here we are at the final reveal. Guys, if you are still here, thank you for sticking around. Add a dancing emoji to your comment, so let me know you watched to the end. Now here are the 5 budget-friendly DIYs that I made for you today. Let me know which of these was your favorite in this video. And don't forget to check out the host channels down below as well as the playlist. And if you love budget-friendly content like this and you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe before you leave. And also, I suggest this video right here or this playlist. And stay safe until next time. Bye!